Man, I sure wish I could knight people. I'd be knighting things, too. Why, yes, I could knight anything I liked. I dub thee Sir Lee.
Of course, it should come as no surprise to anybody that the latest and most happening trend of 2010 is kings. Thrones are replacing armchairs, scepters are outselling iPods, people aren't just putting crowns on their heads, they're putting them on everything! So it wouldn't be very cool if we reviewed regular old kings, would it? That's why in this episode we'll be reviewing what we like to call indie kings. Model yourself after these guys and you'll be guaranteed to get the edge on all those mainstream lamos. If you and a bunch of friends want to really blow away the squares, then you could try for something in the vein of a rat king. Now, a rat king is a very rare phenomenon that comes about when a bunch of rats get their tails all connected and intertwined together, usually as a result of either hardened mud, ice, blood, excrement, or even just their tails all getting knotted together. In medieval times, these were considered a sign of plague and are generally a bad omen. I suppose plagues aren't very fashionable, but conformity masquerading as individuality has always been in style. The most varied body of indie kings that you could possibly seek fashion inspiration from would definitely have to be the Gypsy Kings. These guys were generally brave individuals who operated as the liaison between the gypsies and the people who owned the land wherever they happened to be settled at any given time. What makes a Gypsy King somebody to emulate? Well, as we all know, fashionable people like to be talked about, and these rascals are almost all a swirling nexus of crazy-ass stories that involve bare-knuckle boxing, fighting Nazis, meeting in places with names like the Devil's Arse, then eventually dying to be buried in steel vaults at funerals which are attended by thousands and thousands of people, and sometimes even a ghost cat. Not that you can necessarily trust most of these stories, given that both gypsies and non-gypsies alike love to add to the mythology of the Gypsy Kings. The latest Gypsy King, Joe Joyce, claims he wrote Bad Romance for Lady Gaga, and there's a pair of Gypsy Kings which were entirely fabricated by the 17th century author known only as S.R. Given their names, I'm amazed that was something anybody actually ever had to figure out. Now, maybe you think a dude is a man. Or maybe you're more specific and think a dude is a California surfer man with shoulder-length hair. Or perhaps Jeff Bridges in The Big Lebowski. Well, I'll tell you this, you're wrong. A dude is this. Oh, yes. That man you see is Evander Barry Hall, who has been credited as the King of the Dudes, a title he earned by winning the Battle of the Dudes. Now, this is during the back end of 1800s America, when the term meant a wealthy city dweller who wasn't of good breeding or any real smarts, but displayed a sartorial splendor guaranteed to catch the eye. I mean, look at that. I'd say it beats the holy hell out of a deep V-neck shirt and skinny jeans any day of the week. Hall won the Battle of the Dudes by, of course, wearing something more outrageous than another dude. Patent leather boots that went all the way up to his hips. Let's face it, I think my verdict is pretty clear in this episode when you consider things like how Hall was the first person to wear a tuxedo to a ball, where he was kicked out for improper attire, and that he once changed outfits 40 times in one day to win a bet. Keep that in mind the next time you're reading about how Beyonce and Lady Gaga changed outfits 3 whole times at the Grammys.
Damn it, Oliver. What did I tell you about picking on pop stars? Now I'm going to have to field a teary 3 a.m. call from the good lady there, all ruining her cigarette glasses with the tears you caused, sir.
And these guys were pretty much all swirling vistas of, that was a bad operating system, Vista, cut. Loved to add to the mythology of the Gypsy Kings. In fact, James Joyce was a famous Irish author that got him kicked out for improper attire. And Hall once... People aren't just wearing crowns on their head, they're putting crowns on everything! I want to live in this world.